Hi everyone, and welcome to a book haul. This one is all ebooks and all romance. I do not know if these are fantasy romance, paranormal romance, steamy, sweet, historical, romantic comedy. I don't know. These came in an email that these books were all free on Amazon. I don't know what the price is now. I just finally have a page full of titles to tell you about. I don't look at the synopsis, so I'll be finding out what these books are about for the first time now with you. So I'll be learning about them. I will list the title and the author in the description box as usual on these videos, so that if you want more information, then you can you'll have the title and the author, so you can go whatever platform you want to look up more information if you so desire. So these are all romance, and I will let you know additional tags if it's historical, paranormal, all of that. On the email, it just said romance. It just said, that's all it is. So I don't know the main subgenre or anything like that. So let's go ahead and delve into this, because these can be a little longer. So the first one I'm going to tell you about is called Meet Disaster. It does say that this is a fake relationship, small town romantic comedy. The edition that I'm looking at does not have any ratings, and so it's a 0 star. Let me plug in. So Meet Disaster, I'm looking at the books by the author, and I don't see any other editions that came up for this one. So as of right now, there are no ratings, so I can't give you a star average on this one. We obviously know now from that little thing that this is a romantic comedy. So let's go ahead and get into the synopsis. It says, Phoenix is not the man for me. He's a loner who's only pretending to date me until my ex gets the hint. The small town of Winter Falls is my chance to reinvent myself. I have officially seen the backside of nervous and timid Gabrielle. I've officially seen the back. Yeah, okay. Or I will have. Okay. Just as soon as I deal with the pesky matter of my ex who won't stop blowing up my phone. The residents of Winter Falls are not about to let me handle my ex by myself. Their solution is simple. I should live with Phoenix and pretend to be his girlfriend until my ex gets the memo. And there's only one little problem with this scenario. I don't want my relationship with Phoenix to be fake. The goat farmer may be a grump and a loner, but when he smiles, his brown eyes light up and 2 dimples pop out on his right cheek. Grump is the furthest thing from my mind. I should tell the people of Winter Falls to mind their own dang business, but I don't. I'm shy, not stupid. A chance to be in close proximity to the man I want on a daily basis? Where do I sign up? To my surprise, this fake relationship feels anything but fake once we're spending all our days together. Sorry, I lost my place. Okay. Featherlight touches, hair kisses, and scorching looks make me start to wonder, can we turn this fake relationship into something real? Let's see, there's another paragraph here. Let's see. Shy and timid. Okay, so this is part of a series, but it does say that this is a standalone. It says Meet Disaster is a standalone novel in the Winter Falls Dempsey Sisters series. So there you go. All right, moving on is To Love Again. It does say this is a sweet romance, so this should be fairly clean. This was written by Lila Scott, and this is book number 1 in 40 and Free. And contemporary is the only additional tag on this. At 261 ratings with a 3.71 average. This actually has ratings on it. At 42, divorced mother of 2, Nicole Adams yearns to discover her true self again. Her children recognize the defeat and sadness in her eyes, and she knows that her kids deserve to see their mother happy. When Nicole follows the suggestion of a friend to go on a spa getaway during a time that her children are away with their father, she does so believing that it might lead to self-discovery she is seeking. What she ends up finding at the Silo Spa and Resort is much more than what she bargains for. What she ends up finding is Gavin Bell. Gavin Bell is a successful businessman who only cares about his clients and getting the job done. It's how he always defined his life, and it's also the thing that led to the downfall of his marriage. But he hasn't found a good reason to change his ways. It helps him to ignore any hints of loneliness or regret about his past mistakes. When Gavin's boss and best friend sends him away to a spa in the mountains for a break from work, Gavin is anything but pleased about it. He decides that he'll spend some time in his room on his computer working, but while checking in, he meets a woman that he can't get out of his mind. Both deceived about the spa and resort by well-meaning friends, Nicole and Gavin find themselves amongst individuals looking for love, a fact that neither of them is pleased about. They'll make the best of a night or two if a shared meal convinces them that an initial spark just might be turning into something more. Okay, and then there's a note saying this series features women finding themselves to love again. Many of these women will overcome obstacles, fear, and pain brought on by past heartbreak. Others will undergo a shift within themselves as they make room for unexpected love in their lives. So it looks like there's at least 8 books in this series. Right. So up next I have Dirty Billionaire. This was written by Meghan March. This is book number 1 in the Dirty Billionaire series. It has 30,928 ratings with a 3.95 average. Additional genre tags are that this is contemporary, adult, BDSM, and erotica. Okay. The synopsis reads, I've got a big ego and an even bigger bank account. That's pretty much where my bio ends. Honestly, I don't need to say anything else. I've just sold 99% of women on going home with me. Do I sound like a jerk to you? That's because I am. And guess what? It works for me just fine. Or at least it did until I met her. Books talk about sparks flying. Screw that. With her, it was like emergency flares mixed with jet fuel. Or maybe just straight up napalm. Only one problem. She wouldn't tell me her name or her number when she disappeared from the hotel room after the hottest night of my life. Now I've had a taste of the perfect woman and I need it again. So what's a jerk to do? I took this problem to the street. A missed connection gone viral. And when I find her, I'm keeping her. Alrighty. Moving on, we have Cruel Money, written by K.A. Linde. This has 7 ratings with a 4.57 average. No additional genre text to tell you about. It says, Gossip Girl meets cruel intentions in this second chance billionaire romance. Natalie Bishop was just supposed to be a one-night stand. Okay. Oh, I get it. Okay. Hello. All right. So she's supposed to be one night stand until she steps out of the ocean at my summer home in the Hamptons completely naked. Oh, skinny dipping. The minute I see her, I know I can't walk away. She claims that she's just here to watch the house while it undergoes renovations, that she has no interest in rekindling our fire. But every weighted glance says it's a lie. I don't care that I'm Manhattan royalty and she's the help. Only that she's living in my summer home with me and I want more. So there you go. Okay, moving on. Oh, I like the cover that's showing on this one. I don't know if it'll be the same one that I pull up to insert the images here, but I do like this cover. It says, Despised and Desired. This is the Marques's, if I said that right, I don't know. Passionate Wife, written by Bree Wolfe. And this is book number 3 in the Love's Second Chance complete series. So a complete series. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the synopsis. This is a historical romance, Regency, and it says clean and a hint of mystery, it sounds like. Let's see. A tortured hero, a lady with a heart of a lion and an unbreakable bond. Elspeth Munford is set to marry a dashing viscount until an accident destroys her life. Devastated, Ellie... Oh, she goes by Ellie, it looks like. Okay, Ellie resigns herself to a life of spinsterhood, her beauty tainted by ugly scars. Until one day when she receives a proposal of marriage from a man she loved long ago. Frederick Lancaster, brother to the Marquess of Elmeridge, returns home from war, unable to make his peace with the past. He retreats into the dark until his brother dies unexpectedly, and Frederick is thrust into a world of duty. In order to father an heir, he agrees to marry a woman he does not remember. Can Frederick see past Ellie's scars? Will Ellie be able to heal his wounded soul? Okay, best-selling author, if you like this. Okay, it looks like there's 8 books in this series. And looks like there's companion novellas, because there's a Forbidden Love novella series. But the actual series, it looks like there's 8. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, plenty of romantic books there. Next up is called Nemesis. This was written by Liza Penn and Natasha Luxe. This is book number 1 in the Heroes and Villains series. 637 ratings with a 3.63 average. Fantasy, retelling, Marvel, adult, paranormal, and erotica. Okay. Perfect for fans of Katie Robert and Ivy Smoak. Okay, which have not read from either of those authors. This one says, okay, All-American Man, the hero. Lilith Giles, his fiancée. The Raven, the villain out for revenge. 1 year after All-American Man clipped my wings and left me for dead in the California desert, I finally found the way to unseat the country's most beloved hero by getting to his less than happy fiancée. Lilith Giles may be all smiles for the paparazzi, but I know a trapped bird when I see one. My nemesis took what mattered most to me, so I'll return the favor. But then All-American Man tries to kill Lilith himself. Suddenly I'm her savior, and the more time we spend together unraveling the threads of this golden boy turned murderer, the more I have trouble staying a supervillain who needs to take down his enemy. I'm a villain. She belongs to the hero. Do I want my revenge, or do I want her? I guess we'll find out. All right. Next up is called Beneath This Mask, written by Meghan March. And this is book number 1 in the Beneath series. It has 23,482 ratings with a 4.11 average. Let's see. New adult, military, adult, contemporary, and romantic suspense, and erotica are the additional tags. Okay. Next, the synopsis says, former Navy fighter pilot, son of a congressman, successful businessman in my own right. With a resume like mine, women have never been a challenge until I met her. This sexy, tatted up bad girl wasn't part of my plans, but that punch to my gut envy every time I see her tells me I have to know more. She's a mystery, an enigma, a challenge. I'm going to figure her out, and then I'm going to make her mine. We'll find out what she's hiding beneath this mask. Alrighty. Moving on, I have Finding Allie. This is book number 1 in the Breaking Away series, written by Meli, Raine. This has 1,844 ratings with a 3.71 average. Let's see, additional tags, romance. Well, these are all romance. Dark, contemporary, new adult, erotica. Obviously with erotica, you're going to know it's going to be either new adult or adult. The whole new adult thing. Anyway, okay. Synopsis says, Chase Holloway's father is the president of Atlas, the drug-dealing motorcycle gang that terrorizes most of our desert town. My stepfather turns out to be a rival drug dealer, and I'm pretty sure he killed my mom 2 years ago. I'm not supposed to fall in love with Chase. He's not supposed to know I even exist. But when he finds me, he can't let go. And when lost my place. And when I find myself in his arms, I hold tight. I have to. Because if I don't, I might just die. And it looks like this is actually a trilogy. So, anyway, okay. Moving on is Stolen by the Fae. I almost said Fate. No, it's Stolen by the Fae. Written by Laxmi, Hariharan. Sorry, I know I said that wrong. Book number 1 in Fae's Claim. 2,800 ratings with a 3.71 average. So obviously Fae is a tag. Fantasy, paranormal, let's see, shapeshifters, urban, and erotica. There are a lot of erotica in this one. Okay. Mine to possess, mine to claim, she is mine. Dante. I'm a trained assassin, enlisted by the Fae Corps, and instructed to kill. There is no place in my life for a fated mate. Then Gia crashes into my life, flashing eyes, luscious lips that beg to be kissed. One whiff of her sugary scent, and I know she is mine. But she's human. In no way can she withstand the barbaric mating practices of the Fae. I am too lethal. I should stay away. When she takes the hit meant for my target, I cannot let her die, so I do the only thing that will save her life. I form a soul bond with the unconscious human. I want to make her bend to my will. I haven't reckoned with craving her emotions, her feelings, her love. When she breaks out of my lair, I will do anything to get her back. This time I will make her submit all. This time she cannot escape. Gia is mine. Okay, so this next one is called Off-Duty Saint, and this was written by Z. Irwin. This has 111 ratings with a 4.3 average. It does say that this is part number 1 in the Off-Duty Rescue Ranch Holiday Origins. So it sounds like these are probably going to be pretty Christmassy, which I do not mind. Yeah, when I scroll down and look at the genres, it says military and Christmas. So definitely a Christmas. Okay. An ex-military doctor vowing never to love, a singer who sold her soul for fame, a gray horse who played matchmaker between them, and time running out before love could seal the deal. When the past proved love couldn't be true, Chris focused instead on doing good in the world through his mountain rescue ranch for horses and therapy to help ex-soldiers heal. Oh, I like that. Let's see, but the ranch took more money to operate than he realized. When faced with a challenge from his father, he forced Chris to consider the unthinkable, to marry by a deadline to earn his billion-dollar inheritance. Would he do anything to save his ranch before bill collectors knocked on the door? He briefly considered his brother's idea to find a woman in the small town community near his secluded ranch who would marry quickly for money. But where would he find such a willing woman? Nicoletta always had big dreams for country music stage. Often focused on herself, she didn't win awards for friendship on her road to success. One accident and one big break later, she landed in front of a music mogul's son, Chris Mangus, the man with the biggest heart on this side of Nashville, but the man who hated the music world with a passion. When something ignites between them, could a gray horse named 50 play matchmaker and bring the two together for a better common cause? Love. Or with time running out, would someone else foil their plans before love could save the day? This Christmas could be their best. With their past proved love wouldn't last, and their lies mired in the present, the future could be exactly what they wished for and needed the most. Okay, it does say this is steamy. It says this is a steamy small town holiday military romance. It'll leave you swooning for happily ever after. So, a steamy Christmas romance. Okay, so this next one is called Off Limits. This was written by J.A. Lowe, and this is book number 1 in the Playboys of New York series. This has 9,811 ratings with a 3.99 average. For genre tags, we have contemporary, adult, sports, and chick lit are the additional tags. Okay, getting into the synopsis, it says, Chloe Jones is trying to put the scandal of leaving her Super Bowl legend fiancé at the altar behind her. No better way to escape than to turn her island honeymoon into a much-needed vacation with her girls. What she wasn't expecting was to meet a hot stranger. Don't they say to get over somebody, you need to get under someone else? Now, I've never heard that. Is that really a thing? I've never heard that. Chloe's ready for a fresh start. Shame her vengeful ex is making it difficult for her. That is until she lands the job of her dreams. What she wasn't expecting was to come face to face with the hot stranger from her island escape, Noah Stone, New York's biggest playboy and her new boss. Oh, did she sleep with her boss? That's what it sounded like. Okay. Okay. Chloe can be professional even if all she can think about is those lips and the way he fills out his suit pants. He's totally off limits, and she signed the paperwork that says so. All right, up next is called Nightmares of Caitlin Lockyear. This was written by Demelza Carlton. Book number 1 in the Nightmares series. This has 1,896 ratings with a 3.4 average. Genre tags are mystery, thriller, suspense. Horror, psychological, and new adult. Okay. Oh, and this is a trilogy. So, name Nathan Miller. What happened? I was shot. By whom? A homicidal lunatic with a gun and bad aim. Her name? Caitlin Lockyear. What happened to her? Looks like someone tried to kill her. Nathan found Caitlin on a beach covered in blood. Saving her life was just the start. Now he's the prime suspect and he has to find out who's really responsible. Both of their lives depend on it. Who hurt her? Why was she shot? What did he promise? Why doesn't his story add up? Who was the dead man on the beach? What will she remember when she wakes up? A tiny taste of what's in store. Let's see. I'm not going to read that because that's a complete snippet from the book and I don't want to do that. It says dark, disturbing, and definitely scary. And it is part of a trilogy. So, okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next book. This one is called Bratva Darling, written by Sabine Barclay. This is book number 1 in the Ivankov Brotherhood series. 449 ratings with a 4.3 average. There's some hard words in this one today. Okay, contemporary, suspense, and BDSM are the tags. It says, I wasn't prepared for her. She's just got me to pay 3 times as much as I wanted for a company I'll buy and destroy. She knows who I am. The Bratva doesn't scare her. What the heck is a Bratva? I don't know. I guess I'll find out. Intelligent, brave, and unstoppable. I'll make her mine. She doesn't know it yet, but we're soulmates. I'll take her to her limits, then give her all her heart desires. Okay, it says this is an interconnecting standalone, so you can read them all as standalone. Interconnecting standalone dark mafia romance with HEA, which is happily ever after, no cliffhanger. It says it contains extra steamy scenes, which I would expect with a BDSM tag. Let's see. It says it'll make you curl your toes and your granny blush. So, 6 books. Okay, good to know. All right. Up next is called The Night Calling, written by Juliana Haygert. And this has 312 ratings with a 4.08 average. This is book number 1 in Right World Night Wolves series. And paranormal, fantasy, shapeshifters, vampires, werewolves, and demons are all the additional tags. The synopsis states, I've fallen for the alpha son, and he left me to die. I'm the underdog in my own pack, an outcast of the worst kind. And Shane, the cocky alpha heir, doesn't hide just how much he despises me. Well, the feeling is mutual. But fate tricks the both of us. Shane and I share a mating bond, and there's no denying temptation. That is, until everything changes and our pack is left to ruin. Now I'm held captive, enslaved to another wolf, while my mate is nowhere to be found. I'm told Shane fled and left us behind, left me. All I can think of is getting revenge. There might be a way to save my pack, but it won't be easy. Despite once rejecting my love, Shane is coming to claim me. Heaven help any wolf, witch, or vampire who stands in his way. It says this is an enemies to lover, fated mates romance. And yeah, there we go. So if you like enemies to lovers, maybe this one might be one for you. Okay, moving on, I have Let Me Be the One, written by Lily Foster. This has 2,626 ratings with a 3.79 average. This is book number 1 in the Let Me series. And let's see, additional genre tags are new adult, young adult, college, contemporary, chicklet, and unfinished. So I'm guessing the series is not finished yet. Okay. It says, she's back. Darcy all but ran away, desperate to shake him off. Her boyfriend, the guy who came off as sweet and devoted, the life of the party, try obsessed, out of control, and hell-bent on ruining her life. 1 year later, a new and improved Darcy Donovan is back on campus, and she's got a plan. That plan doesn't include Tom Farrell, or any other guy for that matter. He's surfer boy hot and he talks a good game, but don't they all? Hell to the yes, she's back. Going after his friend's girl is wrong, but Tom is too hung up on Darcy to care. Screw principles, screw ethics, screw the bro code. And an hour in her presence would lead the best of men to veer off the high road. And he has his work cut out for him. She still thinks he's a joke, nothing more than a walking, talking one-night stand. What she doesn't know is that Tom has spent the past year changing his ways. He's not all talk, and he'll do whatever it takes to prove it. But when a menace from Darcy's past resurfaces and Tom's past comes back to bite him hard, their one shot at happily ever after may be shot to hell. What you don't know, turns out that it can hurt you. Let's see. It says gripping and emotional standalone romances that are interconnected, 18 or older crowd due to mature language and sexual content. So I don't know how explicit it's going to be, but it does say 18 or older, even though young adult is a genre tag. You do need to be 18 or older, evidently, for this particular book. Okay. Next up is called The Lost Girls of Ireland, written by Susanne O'Leary. This is book number 1 in Starlight Cottages. And this has 9,322 ratings with a 4.14 average. Okay, so the additional tags on this, it has Ireland, and let's see, Irish literature, women's fiction, family, and chick lit. So, yeah. All right, moving into the synopsis, it says, this is a heartwarming story about family secrets, one woman's escape to dreamy Sandy Cove on the stunning west coast of Ireland. Let's see, the picturesque beach of Wild Rose Bay is the last place Lydia Butler thought she'd be. But having just lost everything, the rundown cottage she inherited from her great-aunt Nellie is the only place she can take her daughter, Sunny. Hidden away in a tiny Irish village, she can protect Sunny from the gossip in Dublin, and the real reason they have nowhere else to live. The cottage is part of the old Coast Guard station, and other eccentric residents are quick to introduce themselves when Lydia arrives. Lydia instantly feels less alone, fascinated by the stories they have about Nellie, and she's charmed by American artist Jason O'Callahan, the mysterious man who lives next door. Okay, this sounds like it's going to be sweet. I'm really interested in this one. So continuing on, it says, but the longer Lydia relaxes under the moonlit sky, the more the secret she's kept from Sunny threatens to come out. And as she finds herself running into Jason's arms, she knows she must be honest and face up to the past she has tried to forget. Has she finally found people who will truly accept her, or will the truth force her to leave the cottage for good? Alrighty, moving on, I have Sweet Hope. This is an age gap romance written by Elle Garnett. This has 72 ratings with a 3.78 average, and it says Brothers of Beaumont Peak on the cover image that I am seeing, so probably a series, which I don't see anything about that so far. Contemporary is the only genre tag. Looks like this is a novella because the Kindle edition is 53 pages. So I do like knowing that it's going to be a really short, quick read. All right, moving on to the synopsis. Yes, this is a series. It says this book is a series, but is a standalone and can be read in any order. I like it when they tell you that. So, Hope. I've spent the last 20 years trying to be a good daughter, but when my father tells me he's chosen a husband for me, I can't go with it. So I run. But things don't go according to plan, and I soon find myself stranded in a tiny mountain town without a dollar to my name. That's when a handsome, much older man finds me and insists on taking me home with him. He says I can trust him and that he means me no harm. But can I trust myself when a single touch from him sets my body ablaze in the sweetest of ways? Jude. I find Hope freezing at a bus stop in the middle of winter. One look into her big, beautiful eyes and I'm a goner. She's half my age, but my heart tells me that she's meant to be mine. But I need to be careful. It's obvious she's on the run from someone, and the last thing I want to do is make her run from me too. It does say this is the first book in the Brothers of Beaumont Peak series. Steamy age gap with a guaranteed HEA, so happily ever after. All right, next up I have Love Finds You, written by Ivy Alexander. This is book number 1 in Helena's Grove series, 636 ratings with a 3.89 average. And let's see, genre tags, MF romance, so male, female, new adult, and contemporary. All right. Okay, so this is actually retitled because it used to be titled as Love is Thicker Than Blood. New content has been added, including an extended ending. Okay, so it's been retitled, so it's now Love Finds You. So if you have or have heard of Love is Thicker Than Blood, then I'm about to read the synopsis for that, but now it's titled Love Finds You. Okay, moving on to the synopsis, it says, Jennifer Berkley is a straightforward, ambitious, soon-to-be lawyer in the fast-driven city of New York. She doesn't have the patience or time to deal with people who can't or won't give her what she wants. When her father asks her to visit her aunt in Ohio as her last dying wish, Jen is immediately resistant, but reconsiders when her father makes her an offer she can't refuse. Jen finds Ohio a much different place than New York. Well, duh. And is beginning to enjoy country life when she meets Zach LaFay, a good-looking, helpful man who is adored by her aunt. Each encounter with him leaves Jen flustered and annoyed. The question is glaring. Does she have feelings for him, or does she hate him so much that she can't decide? Amidst a country backdrop, Jen discovers feelings and experiences no city girl is prepared for. As the summer unfolds, she finds herself questioning everything. Under her skill and training as a lawyer, Jen uncovers a trail of deceit she didn't see coming. With a vengeance, she is determined to find out the truth. Someone is lying to her, but who? So, there we go. Alrighty. Moving on is called Random Acts of Crazy, written by Julia Kent. This is book number 1 in the Random series. 7,232 ratings with a 3.53 average. Let's see. Genre tags, new adult, menage, erotica, humor, music, college, and adult. Okay. Synopsis, it states, I never intended to pick up a naked hitchhiker wearing nothing but a guitar. A guitar, really. I don't collect guys like that. Don't ask what kind of guys I do collect. But when you spot a blonde, tanned, sculpted man with a gorgeous smile and his thumb poking up and practically begging you to stop, you stop. And I definitely never thought I'd be staring into the brightest blue eyes of Trevor Connor, the lead singer for Random Acts of Crazy, an indie rock star I followed like the slobbering file share fangirl I am. How he came to be nude and lost 600 miles from home is quite the tale. I bet that is. But how we fell in love is even more unreal. Because someone like Trevor, headed to Harvard Law next year, isn't supposed to want someone like me, a rural Ohio chick majoring in boredom at a convenience store university who is all curves and frizzy blonde hair and manners so unpolished they have sharp edges that make you bleed. But he did. When his best friend, Joe Ross, the bass player for Random Acts of Crazy, and a man who makes Calvin Klein models look like Shrek, drove 11 hours through the night to rescue him, though it got real complicated, it's one thing to like two different guys and be torn. What do you do, though, when maybe, just maybe, you don't have to choose? As my Aunt Josie says sometimes, it's always complicated. Okay, so it does say this is a standalone full-length novel. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else. So maybe you can read them all as standalone. And it does say Darla has a sailor's mouth. So a lot of swearing, I'm guessing. Okay, moving on. We have Marked for Rage, written by Susan Hayes. This is book number 1 in the Crashed and Claimed series. 667 ratings with a 3.78 average. Let's see, genre tags. It says aliens, fantasy, sci-fi, obviously, novella, space, and adult. Okay, the synopsis. Wow, blank on that word. Okay, it was supposed to be a delivery run. How did it turn into a prison break? All Mercy had to do was deliver her cargo and go. Now she's got a bunch of irate aliens on her tail and a hot as Helios escaped prisoner in her cargo bay who insists she is his. She's too old for this crap, and she keeps telling herself she's too old for him too. But his arguments and his assets are very convincing. If they're going to survive this intergalactic crisis, she's going to need a plan, and her hot, horned, and handsome alien passenger is going to need some clothes. Okay, that's all that says. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. I'm on the last grouping here, and I've got the final 14 for this video. So let's go through this as quickly as we can. Up next is called Cyclone, written by Janie Crouch. This has 6,952 ratings with a 4.28 average, and this is book number 1 in the linear tactical series. As far as genre tags, we have romantic suspense, military, contemporary, and action and crime. Okay, so the synopsis says, meet Zach McKay, military codename Cyclone. He's a widower, a protector, a hero, and the person who could destroy Anne's life. Dr. Anne Griffin is back in Oak Creek, Wyoming, only because she has no other options. Here, she was always the shy, stuttering girl invisible to everyone, except Zach, the very reason she left in the first place. Zach's years in Special Forces taught him survival skills, and he's created a company, Linear Tactical, to teach those skills to others so they never have to live in fear. Then why is Annie, the last person he'd ever want to hurt, afraid of him? Zach's determined to wipe the fear from the eyes of the woman who has never been far from his mind, and fix the mistakes, his mistakes, that put that look there in the first place. But a predator has set his sights on Annie, and now survival skills will become much more than lessons. Alrighty. Okay, next up I have The Little Cottage on the Hill, and I really like the cover that I'm seeing on this. Like, this cover makes me think, if I really like the ebook version when I get to this, and the writing of the author, I'm probably going to want to collect this if all of her books have this pretty style of cover. Really like it. Okay, so The Little Cottage on the Hill is written by Emma Davies, and this is book number 1 in the Little Cottage series. This has 2,737 ratings with a 4.15 average. Genre tags, we have chick lit, and British, and contemporary. Okay. The synopsis says, there's blossom in the trees and daffodils as far as the eye can see. Maddie is looking forward to a fresh start in the countryside, but there's just one little problem. Following a scandal on her high-flying PR agency, 26-year-old Maddie flees London to help promote what she thinks is going to be a luxurious holiday retreat in the countryside. Everything is riding on her making a success of this new job. Yet, when she arrives, Maddie is horrified to find a run-down old farm in a terrible state. The brooding and secretive owner, Seth, spent all his money on leasing the land when he fell in love with the beautiful, disheveled farm cottages and the very romantic story behind them. When Maddie discovers an old painting by the original owner's wife, she unlocks the secret of the farm's history and quickly realizes she must start getting her hands dirty if this very special place is going to have any chance of survival. As she and Seth begin working together, the stunning view from the top of the hill is not the only thing that's leaving her breathless. After weeks of hard work, and the dream looks like it might become a reality until a secret from Maddie's past threatens to snatch it all away again. Can Maddie find a way to save the business and herself? Will she finally find a place to keep her heart within the crumbling walls of the little cottage on the hill? Perfect for fans of Jenny Colgan, Lucy Diamond, and Debbie Johnson. Okay. I haven't read any of those. The cover kind of reminds me a lot, and the synopsis of like Donna Ashcroft. So maybe I'll like it where I really enjoy Donna Ashcroft's. I don't know. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. This next one is called Finding Yesterday. This was written by Tara Weiss, and it says, let's see, this is a contemporary. The cover that I'm seeing says this is a Blue Vine romantic mystery. So maybe it's part of a series, not quite sure. Let's see if the synopsis gives us anything. Oh, 189 ratings with a 4.4 average. It says, my veil dangles from my fingers as I hightail it into a wine cellar instead of down the aisle. My caterer, famous bad boy chef Jack Brady, provides a bottle opener and a listening ear. Leaving my fiancé at the altar gets me booted from the restaurant he and I ran together. But I land a job as a chef at Jack's Steakhouse, so what if I'm vegetarian? After a rocky start involving a piglet who ghosts his own roasting, sparks fly between Jack and me in the kitchen. But the past lingers between us like the smoke from a southern barbecue. Jack left Blue Vine 18 years ago after tragedy struck both our families. Does it haunt him like it does me? The buried secrets of that day could make our dreams go up in flames. Okay, I'm still not 100% sure what that's about, but that is okay. Okay, up next I have Fighting for Someday. This was written by M.M. Koenig. I don't know. 62 ratings with a 4.29 average. This is book number 1 in the Someday series. Contemporary is the only additional tag. Bree McAndrews is the envy of every girl at Chamberlain and the one every guy wants at their side. What most people don't know is that there's so much more to her than the picture-perfect life everyone sees on the surface. Ain't that the truth with everyone's life? You never know. Okay. Being the daughter of a power-hungry senator has her under constant scrutiny. Even though she's used to being in the spotlight, it's becoming harder to meet her father's expectations. When Trey Donovan stereotypes her as just another spoiled rich kid, she's more than determined to show him he's wrong about her, and she doesn't care about the consequences it will have for her at home. After giving the most popular guy in school a beatdown he'll never forget, Trey Donovan becomes more than just the new all-star quarterback at Chamberlain. He's the bad boy from the South Side every girl is dying to have on their arm. Unfazed by his new popularity, Trey isn't about to let his guard down, but keeping everyone at a distance becomes a challenge, especially whenever Bree is nearby. She's way out of his social stratosphere and the one girl he shouldn't even consider pursuing. As Bree and Trey grow closer, more than a few vengeful people have a problem with it. Can their budding new relationship survive when so many people are set on keeping them apart? It does say this book has strong language and sexual content. It is intended for readers that are 18 years and up. And this is a prequel to the Secret and Secret Lies series. Okay. Up next I have the Magnolia Sisters. Magnolia. It's a flower. The Magnolia Sisters book. Book number 1 in Full Bloom Farm series, written by Elise Murray. 1,385 ratings with a 4.03 average. As far as genre tags, we have contemporary, adult, family, and chicklet. Okay. Synopsis says, Harper Anderson has a to-do list longer than the Colorado River and fields of tulips to tend to at her family's flower farm in Hillsborough County, California. It's her dream to run the business with her sisters when her father retires, keeping up traditions that began with her great-great-grandmother. Oh, I like that. That is, if there's a farm left to run. Rich out-of-towners looking for a slice of country living are hiking up the prices in town, and it's putting her family out of business. So she has no time for the arrogant LA tech mogul who makes her an offer to use their farm as his sister's wedding venue. No amount of money could make up for the destruction it would wreak on next season's crops. The sooner Luke Martin is on his way, the better. But Luke isn't willing to go. He's been looking out for his sister ever since their deadbeat parents left them to fend for themselves, and he'll do whatever it takes to make her happy. So when Harper's newest farmhand leaves her in the lurch, he sees an opportunity to strike a deal. He'll work on the farm for free if she'll give him the chance to change her mind. Harper and Luke each expect the other to crack first. What they don't expect is the chemistry that sparks between them as they work side by side among the budding roses. But Luke's presence is turning over more than the earth. And just as Harper is starting to let her guard down, he stumbles upon a secret that could spell disaster for the entire Anderson clan. With her family's happiness at stake, can Harper put her trust in a man who is worlds apart from everything she knows? Alrighty. Next up I have It Happened One Night, written by Christine S. Feldman. This is book number 1 in Adventures in Blind Dating. This has 82 ratings with a 4.11 average. Novella and clean are the additional tags. It looks like the Kindle edition is only 75 pages. Okay. The synopsis says, who has time for dating these days? Certainly not struggling entrepreneur Paisley Jameson, who has way too much on her plate to pay any real attention to her shriveling shriveling social life. And not mechanic Joe Spencer either, who has a lot on his mind with both the family business and family in general. But neither can say no to the beloved mutual acquaintance who wants to set them both up on a blind date. And that's like the perfect synopsis length, in my opinion, for a novella. Okay, up next I have Lost by Jodi Kay. This has 351 ratings with a 3.87 average, and this is book number 1 in the Saved by Love series. Let's see, suspense, dark, and contemporary and erotica are the additional tags. The last thing Derek expected to find on the dirt road to his cabin is an unconscious, beaten, and bloody woman. Trying to keep her safe and help her regain her memory takes him on a different life course than expected. And then it says this is an erotic suspense novel. So, still not sure what that's about, but evidently someone has amnesia and he's trying to help, and that's all I know. Okay. Moving on, I have It Started With Joy, written by Cindy Kirk. This has 781 ratings with a 4.34 average. Book number 1 in the Jackson Hole series. As far as genre tags, we have contemporary, Christmas, sports, let's see, holiday, which is pretty obvious with the Christmas, and Harlequin. I want to look this up because I'm not sure what the Harlequin tag is. So it says, Harlequin is one of the world's leading publishers of books for women. Okay, so, all right, so it was a Harlequin book at some point. All right. Ready to take a chance on love again. Rachel Milligan fell head over heels once. Then her happy world crashed in around her, leaving her reeling and wondering if she'd survive. That was 3 years ago. The pretty nurse has pulled herself up from the ashes and built a solid life for herself, as a nurse, as a volunteer, as a temporary foster mom. When ex-baseball sensation Derek Rossi shows up in Jackson Hole for a much-needed R&R, love is the last thing on the sexy superstar's agenda. With 3 broken engagements under his belt, he's pretty much given up on the whole happily ever after thing. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Okay, it says neither he nor Rachel is ready for romance, but they're not the only ones with skin in the game. When love blooms, thanks to joy and the power of a perfectly aimed baseball, Derek and Rachel are forced to face their fears. Will they slide into home plate together or walk away? It does say this was originally published as the Christmas Proposition. Let's see. It was updated. Wow, technology changed in 10 years. As well as some of the writing was tightened and name was changed. What hasn't changed is the heartwarming story. Okay, so anyway, so it used to be titled The Christmas Proposition. All right, good to know. Okay. Next up, I have Bullet. This is book number 1 in the Bullet series, written by Jade C. Jameson. This has 4,279 ratings with a 3.77 average. As far as genre tags, we have new adult, music, college, contemporary, dark, and abuse. So, okay. An epic rock star novel. What if you discover the man you want is toxic? She tasted a little bit of heaven with him, and now they've gone through hell and back. But can the relationship take any more? Valerie Quinn is a naive college freshman when she meets on-the-rise rock star Ethan Richards. He's an idealistic, handsome, reckless young man, but he's captured her heart. She doesn't give up on him, and eventually his walls crumble down. By the time Valerie has given herself to him completely, she discovers he's damaged and may be beyond help. Can she save Ethan and the relationship before he implodes, or will he self-destruct and take her with him? Okay, moving on, I have Outback Roads, The Nanny, written by Annie Seaton. This is book number 1 in the Agathella Girls. I probably said that wrong. So yeah, part of a series, 923 ratings with a 4.27 average. Contemporary is the only additional tag. Okay, the synopsis says, determined never to trust a man again, Callie Young walks out of her job as a presenter on the Weather Channel, determined to take the first job that will get her out of the city and away from the TikTok video #WrongForecast that has kept the world amused. Meeting her new employer, the cranky and bossy owner of Kilcoy Station, reinforces her belief that no man can be trusted. But to Callie's dismay, that doesn't stop the growing attraction to this difficult man. Braden is unimpressed with the glamorous woman the city employment agency sends in response to his desperate ad for a nanny. She's never been out of the city, barely knows the difference between a bull and a milking cow, and drives a luxury sedan. But she makes him feel things he'd thought were gone for good. Will his sad past and a guilty secret protect his heart and ensure Braden denies his growing feelings for Callie? Who knows? Okay, up next I have foreplay, like it's the number 4. So get your mind out of the gutter, the number 4, and then play. This is number 1 in the 4 series, written by Stephanie Brother. This has 2,328 ratings with a 4.08 average. Now your mind can go into the gutter because this is a reverse harem, menage, erotica, contemporary. So obviously it's going to be adult. It does say this is a novella and polyamorous. The Kindle edition is 161 pages. Okay. The 4 annoying boys who are responsible for the worst moments of my childhood have grown into 4 irritating hot-as-sin men. I tried to ignore them, but they torment me during the day and haunt my dreams at night. Oh, and did I mention, they're my stepbrothers. Okay, not liking where this is going, but... Adam, Matt, and identical twins Josh and Jake would be most girls' dream, but not mine. Sure, they're tall, dark, gorgeous, and successful, but I don't want them and I don't need them. At least that's what I tell myself until I spend one mind-blowing week at their beach house. Yeah, okay. We do things together. For me, that's just kind of an ick because you're siblings. I mean, yeah, you're not related by blood, but you're still siblings. So, yeah, I'm kind of more leery for this one. It's okay. The synopsis continues on saying, we do things together I never even dreamed about, and I find out there's more to them than meets the eye. But it's just a game we're playing, isn't it? By the time I realize I need to protect my heart, it may be too late. It's a full-length standalone mega menagerie reverse harem romance. It involves sizzling MMFMM, so male, male, female, male, 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 female, male, and male, female scenes, guaranteed to inspire your fantasies. No cliffhangers, no cheating, and a lot of steaminess. Yeah, I bet. That's definitely what that sounds like. Okay, and I'm not liking the fact that it's siblings. But maybe that's just me. Please let me know. But yeah. Okay, next up I have Promises, written by Marie Sexton. This is book number 1 in the Coda series. This has 11,555 ratings with a 4.02 average. This is going to be LGB because it does say this is a male-male romance, contemporary, so obviously gay, erotica, it does say. I've never read an erotica male-male, so, yeah. I have read an erotica before, but it was male-female. I've never read an erotica male-male, so, yeah. Anyway, and then it just has different versions of gay and LGBT, so... Okay, the synopsis says, Jared Thomas has lived his whole life in the small mountain town of Coda, Colorado. He can't imagine living anywhere else. Unfortunately, the only other gay man in town is twice his age and used to be his teacher. So Jared is resigned to spending his life alone. Until Matt Richards walks into his life, that is. Matt has just been hired by the Coda Police Department, and he and Jared immediately become friends. Matt claims he is straight, but for Jared, having a sexy friend like Matt is way too tempting. Facing Matt's affair with a local woman is his disapproving family and harassment from Matt's coworkers, Jared fears they'll never find a way to be together, even if he can convince Matt to try. Okay. All right, let's move on. This next one is called A Lantern in the Window, written by Bobby Hutchinson. This has 2,325 ratings with a 4.12 average. And this is book number 1 in the Western Prairie Brides series. And as far as genre tags, we have historical, Western, novella, Christmas, and mail order brides. The Kindle edition shows that it's 91 pages. It says, ever wondered what it might be like to be a mail order bride, or the groom already married to a woman he's never laid eyes on? No, I've never wondered that. So anyway, moving on, it says, on the Canadian prairies in 1886, having a mail-ordered romance wasn't unusual. Noah Ferguson desperately needed help on his farm. Annie Tompkins knew she couldn't go on working in Lazenby's cotton mill, so she'd been a little less than honest on her letters. Was that really so terrible? It was unforgivable. Noah fumed. He wanted an older widow, and Annie was a young virgin. But even that wasn't the full extent of her lies. Problem is, Noah wasn't exactly been straight with Annie either, and his secret has the power to break Annie's heart. Can even a special Christmas gift make their marriage work? Alrighty. That sounds interesting. Moving on. This last book I have to tell you about is called The Patriot, written by Jennifer Milliken. This has 822 ratings with a 4.35 average, and this is book number 1 in the Hayden family series. And let's see, as far as genre tags, we have contemporary, military, suspense, western, and new adult. It does say, here's a note from the author, it says this is a standalone, but starting from the first book is recommended for maximum enjoyment. So you can read them as standalone, but if you want the most enjoyment, read them in order. Okay, good to know. And let's see. Second chance romance. So this is a second chance. Okay, I'm a soldier, a cattle rancher, a Hayden. My family's legacy is spread out in front of me, just waiting for me to seize it. If it weren't for one outdated rule, I'd be the owner of the Hayden Cattle Company, and my aging father could retire. When Dakota Wright shows up to buy and develop 20 acres of Hayden land, I see more than a pretty mouth and strawberry blonde hair. I see a way around the decree keeping me from getting what I want. And as luck would have it, Dakota has a big problem of her own. We strike 2-1 for the land. What? We strike 2-1 for the land, and a second that'll make both our problems a distant memory. That confused me. I'm not sure what that is saying. Okay, it isn't too long before I realize I'm in over my head. I've convinced myself the ends should justify the means, but everything begins to fall apart when my birthright is no longer all that I'm after. I never thought there'd be anything I could love more than my ranch and my country. I was wrong. Turns out I want it all, including her. So that's it. Those are all of the romance books for this particular ebook haul. Let me know if you've read any of these books. What are your thoughts on some of these synopsises, especially the one with the step siblings? I would really like to know your thoughts on that. So yeah, let me know. Have you read any of these or from any of these authors? If you've read from any of these authors but not the particular book mentioned, did you enjoy the other author's work? Let me know. Talk to me in the comments section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I'll talk to you later.